Today we're going to use the trivial web server program to investigate the process lifecycle. You can see we've got three windows open in our virtual machine. The first window is going to be where we run the trivial web server program. The window at the bottom, we're going to run PS and PS-tree to look at the processes. And in the final window, we're going to use wget to fetch pages from the trivial web server. But first, let's run trivial web server and hook up to it with Firefox so we can see exactly how it's working. Then we'll use wget in place of Firefox because it's a lot easier for our demonstrations. There we've run the trivial web server program, and it tells us that it's listening on port 8080, and it's going to pause for 30 seconds every time it gets a request. That is to say, it's going to take a long time to complete each request. And it tells us that its process ID is 5012. Down here with Firefox, we can go and ask for a page from our trivial web server. Trivial web server tells us what we asked for, and it also tells us that it's been asked to take its time answering. That's because we used the -S30. So it's going to take 30 seconds for the web page to completely load, because it takes 30 seconds for the web server to respond. The reason we do that is to make it easy to see the parent-child relationship. If we serve up the web page too quickly, the child is gone before we can look for it. There you go, all done. Put Firefox away, and we'll see what the trivial web server program told us. It said it got a connection from the loopback interface and was serviced by a worker with a process ID of 5013. And then it tells us what the return code was from the process 5013. We can get exactly the same behavior using wget instead of Firefox. You see over here we're running wget, and our trivial web server program has told us that it's now running a child with a PID of 5016. And while that page downloads in the wget window, we can use PS to take a look. Well, where's our trivial web server program? PS by default only shows us the processes running on our terminal. If we want to see all the processes, we need PS minus EFL, everything, give me a full listing, and then we're going to see all the processes running on the system. And there down at the bottom is the TWS we're interested in, but a whole bunch of other things as well. So let's use grep to filter the output. Pipe that to grep, and I only want to see lines that contain TWS. Almost there. That shows us our TWS process, but it also shows us our grep process, which is really not all that pretty. So let's put one more grep in, minus V for inverse, and grep. So this says filter down to everything that has TWS in it, and then filter that set through another copy of grep, and only show me the lines that don't have grep. And there's our single TWS process that's running. You'll notice that that PID matches the PID above. Let's get a page one more time. There's our page downloading. TWS has said it has started a child with a PID of 5025. And down here, sure enough, we have two TWS processes, and one of them has a parent PID of 5012. The original TWS is its parent, and its PID is 5025, just like TWS said it would be. Now it's all done, and it returned with a status of 0. So now when we look, we should see only the original TWS process.